Stern's in his head talking with him. It's like that. So let me know what you think.
Can I just say, I love your nonchalant impression of Mike McFarlane. It's like, it is, Mike is so just like, hey, what's up? Yeah, you're gonna be close. And I mean, it's like, he might as well just slip it on a post-it note under the bathroom door or something, you know, right there. But
yeah.
Mike was really cool about and this just reminds me of how much fun he is to work with as a director, because Mike is really very funny, and he's got a very dry sense of humor, but he's so good at, like, 'cause I was very nervous too, as you know, all of us are working on a property of that scope, but Mike is so wonderful about just getting you there, about making sure, for me in particular, like, he always gives me crap. At the end of every take, it's always, yeah, that'll work. Yeah, the acting meter picked up 4%. We'll go ahead and take that. Like, he's always just making sure that,
And he really loves the shows too. Like, you should see, there's, like, for example, for right now, for Summer Wars, I mean, he is on that show talking about it all the time. So
and Summer Wars, that's a whole other, man, we can make an entire convention out of Summer Wars if we start talking about that, because I love that show, that movie.
Well, it's got more showings.
I know, it's got more showings.
Maybe.
Anyway, but yeah, we'll mention that another time, because otherwise Todd and I can talk about that show. And Max. It's, just to give props to Mike, who's an awesome director. I mean, he eats, sleeps, and breathes Full Metal Alchemist, and any show he's working on, but like Mike is the glue that holds it all together for the rest of us, so just want to give him a shout out. Who has a question? Let's see. It's like out there, I see someone way in the back there. Yes, you with cat ears.
What element or character do you miss the most that was eliminated from the first series when y'all redoing the second?
So what character or element do you miss?
What character or what quality to the first show do you miss the most?
That's a good question.
I haven't seen the first series, so...
Hey, Wesley. Could you go ahead and grab out my other SD card and get it ready? Could you grab the other SD card out of my bag and get it ready for me?
2 minutes ago,
and then just turn on you.
It was his choice. Because
but we'll have a big pajama watching party.
Exactly.
We'll be here for 3 weeks.
I know it's gonna be great. No showering, no brushing teeth. It's gonna be awesome.
Wait, I have to shower.
I will not be coming to that party.
But it's Full Metal.
Okay, I'll be coming to that. Okay. I will be showering and brushing my teeth. You can be sure of that.
I feel like I have to explain. Okay, I'm going to explain. We made a conscientious choice for me not to watch it because we thought Mike and I thought that if I did, I would have Aaron's voice in my head. And so I would be trying to impersonate him rather than making the character my own, and just having faith in the fact that Mike said I sounded enough like him to make everyone happy.
Well, if the director and line producer of the show says you shouldn't watch the first one, I guess that's okay.
Thanks!
And if you're doing the voice of one of the characters in the second version, okay.
Thanks!
You don't have to watch it.
And that's a very important thing, because, and you have to understand, I did this, now, of course, I've watched the first one, umpteen times in my life, because I'm a huge fan of it, but I tried to stay completely clear of it while doing this version, because you don't want your performance so overshadowed by what you think made the first one work, because you're not the director. That's the director's job to get you there, and so you just have to have faith in that. But to answer your question about if there's anything I missed between the two shows, not a thing, because to me they're two very different shows that stand very well on their own as independent works of art, and I think they're both incredibly wonderful. So I don't really compare the two very often. I mean, obviously most of the same characters and the same themes are touched, but they're very different shows in a lot of respects, especially once you hit that high water mark after 17 and it starts following the manga. So I don't miss anything from one show to the next, because I can always go back and watch the first one. They're always there. It's not like a stage play, where you're like, oh, done, 1 weekend only. I mean, they're both really incredibly, I look at them as being, for the most part, independent. So nothing really, that's just my own quirky view. And that's all I have to say about that.
Hey, you know what? I just thought of something that I miss. The music. There were some really, really beautiful pieces of music in the first series. Some great songs,
some of the, no, by the way, let me just qualify that. I'm not saying the music to Brotherhood is bad. You hear? I never said that. What I said was there were certain pieces of music in the original that I loved. A lot of the opening themes were great. A lot of the musical instrumental themes that they used throughout the series for certain like moments and emotions were very powerful. And I did love a lot of the music in the original series. There's some great pieces for Brotherhood as well. But that was something that I really enjoyed about the first series. And they did a great job on Brotherhood too, but I did have a special love for the music. But I think that all of the elements that made the first series good are still in the second series. The humor, the suspense. In fact, I think it's even more weighty, more dramatic, you know what I mean? More powerful even in a lot of ways. New characters are fantastic. So I think it has all the same things that you loved about the first one, you know? Just mixed up a little different, you know, and served to you a little differently, you know?
Maxey, do you think watching the first series would mess with your process in the same way of George Lucas adding Hayden Christensen in Return of the Jedi?
Completely.
I thought you were going to say Jar Jar.
That's all.
I'm glad you said Hayden, although they're very similar. In the quality of their performance.
Listen, you're Jedi!
I will walk out of this room.
Who's got, let's see, we'll go back. Let's see, yes, over here.
Mr. Tatum, what am I, your English teacher? Sorry, busting your chops. Where are you? I see you. Oh, there you are.